So my passion is science and theater. I'm going to tell you about science and theater production because that's what I do. Why science and theater? Well, because science is a wonderful thing, as probably many people here can attest. It's beautiful and wondrous, and I want to share that kind of wonder with the world. And theater has this dialogic format usually, and also the experience of being in theater is something that allows people to go ahead and access information about subjects they wouldn't normally get to. So in 2000, I started this company, Redshift Productions, with my lovely wife, Megan Halpern, who's right over here. And we did our first show, Elements, which is a live music and dance piece about Aristotle's 4 elements in 2000. We then did a show called Galileo, The Emotional Life of a Spacecraft, which was a rock opera about the Galileo mission to Jupiter. Yeah, we're geeks. Yeah. It was the first time we started working with scientists, and we actually got images from mission scientists and used them as animations in the show. And so we wanted to continue this work with scientists, and the next show was Happy Hour at the Event Horizon, a comedy about physics that takes place in a bar at the edge of a black hole. We brought scientists and improv actors into rehearsal and started having them collaborate together. Now this is the first time that we actually really took a real serious look into how scientists and artists actually collaborate and how that actually works. And what we found is that we were being, a little bit too deferential to scientists and treating them as kind of authorities in the room when they were on our turf, and they actually wanted a better experience about what we were doing in our stuff. So we said, okay, fine, come on in, we'll do warm-ups with the actors, ditch the PowerPoint presentation, and have a discussion. Some of them actually ended up performing in the show, in the final show here. And we wanted to continue working on this collaboration because this is a really interesting thing, or the study of the collaboration. When we got approached by Carl Gerasi, who is the former chemist who had been a pill. Oh yeah, guess what? Scientists are people too! Just in case you wanted to know. But that was kind of a thing that we didn't think about at the time. Oh yeah, I mean, they have fears about what they want to do, about getting up and performing. If they're not professional artists, they're professional scientists, right? And so yeah, Carl Gerasi, he approached us to produce some off-Broadway plays in Manhattan, and we thought it was a great idea to take a look at how artists, actors and directors are going to work with a creator of a show, because he was the playwright of these shows. And this also created a whole new set of challenges too. These are Carl's shows here. Having to give 3 solid evidentiary reasons why you want to change any part of his script, but he would do it, it was a great situation because it allowed us to have these production experiences and then to work with other artist-scientist collaborations like Lisa Harrow and Roger Payne for Sea Change Reversing the Tide. And we suddenly start to realize that we wanted to see this voice of scientists and help out this voice of scientists, so we started doing these educational workshops at places all through upstate New York and out in California and around, teaching scientists to communicate to the public and doing crazy ass things just to kind of get out there and start presenting things to the public. Our latest show, Dance of Scales, which performed for the Light and Winter Festival here in 2010, was another one of these works. It's another example, a collaboration of Ithaca College, a physicist here at Cornell, and Maren Waldman and White there, who's a choreographer in town. So we started looking at doing all of these projects as outreach for scientists, which is great and really rewarding in a lot of ways. But what's the most important thing when you're doing anything? Money. So where do you get funding for this kind of thing, right? And that creates a whole new set of challenges, because when you go to apply for funding in certain places like the NSF, the thing about the NSF is that they put outreach in their grants. You're supposed to do outreach, but then people in the science establishment see outreach as literally synthetic. I've heard somebody say that to the endeavor, right? And that spending time doing outreach and doing projects like ours, I've heard some people actually say that it's dangerous to getting tenure. So if that's the case, what is science if outreach is in these kinds of grants? And I think the common conception about both art and science is that the people who are doing the science, people who have the instruments, people who are doing the art, who are doing the painting, all those things, that's where the endeavors end. I absolutely disagree. I totally disagree, because I think that by participating in things like being an audience to a performance about science, or being in the audience here, you're becoming part of the endeavor of art, part of the endeavor of science. And those things operate with people both within and without the establishments. And so I say that you, now, here listening to me, you're learning something about science, something about scientists, something about art and artists. And you're becoming a community that is part of the art and part of the science. This is one of our workshops. Yeah, yay, I'm part of science. You know, that's something that I don't think that maybe these establishments will necessarily change anytime in the near future. But that's okay, because I'll still keep giving this message, all the crazy things like acting like a PowerPoint slide for a Nobel laureate. And guess what? I got my theater in your science. So there you go. Thanks a lot.